Yeah. I gotta make it to heaven. I'm going through hell. Gotta make it to heaven. Gotta make it to heaven. I gotta make it to heaven.
Hey everybody, actually I'll just leave my hand here. So for Comic Book Corner 2, I was going to make that about my teaching philosophy, about how anyone can be a comic book artist, but I think if you've been on the channel now so far, that's really covered in the comic book original art chat and covered in the podcast that I posted, and probably covered like in everything else I talk about, because it always seems to come through. So I think that's going to be redundant. And you want to go back and hear that we can all be comic book artists right now, even if we use just stick figures. Just go listen to the comic book original art chat number 1. Today on this Comic Book Corner, I'm still realizing that people are going to have a hard time with shapes. With the next Student Teacher Overdraw, which I already started, I can see shapes are again a key thing. So the hardest thing everyone always says is hands, and I'm going to show you guys how I do hands, not how Loomis does it. There's a bunch of really good guides on how to do it. The way I do it, I break it down in really simple, basically just two. I don't count 1, 2, 3. I just count 1 and 2. So it's just 2 parts for the fingers, 1 square, you know, 1 like rectangle square for this, and then a little bit of meat here, and then this one pops out. And then hands aren't as hard because we have them right here in front of us. And I'll talk about how I think about like angles. Like if you're pointing like this, sometimes I'll think about like how this is straight and these go down, and that it starts informing how I start drawing the shapes. So, or like if someone's grabbing your, like if they're interested or leaning in, put their hand on your face and see where your fingers fall, and that actually informs your drawing, because then you'll know where to put it, or how you rest, or this angle here, like this is cutting into my head then over, right? That is what these angles is what makes you act with hands, like you're an Italian guy and you're acting with your hands. But like if someone's dead and they're in a pile of rubble, if their hand's just flat, it's not going to look as good as if their hands like this, right? Or like this, if they've just been poisoned or something. So hands, I think, are really great acting tools, and they're not as hard as people think. It's just all shapes. So what we're going to do with this assignment that I'll record here in a little bit is break these down and make you really good at moving shapes, so then you can do a hand like this, or a hand flying at you, or a hand flying away from you, over and over and over again, with ease. And once you get comfortable with those, you get comfortable with anything. So I guess sit back and buckle up, and you'll watch me draw some hands. I'll try to break down a few different things and just talk randomly as I go. This will be a full video, so I'll probably try to keep it to 20 minutes. Alright guys, I'm going to do a basic, very, very basic lesson on hands. They're kind of like the most scary things, but they're not really that scary. The one thing we're not going to do with this is do this number. So this right here, see this, and around, and around, and around, and over, and gobble gobble. This right here, that is a hot turd. We're not doing that. We're gonna learn the real way to do it. So buckle up and let's go. I'll probably pencil this first with the loose pencil. I'm gonna show you how you can take a square, toilet paper rolls, a little circle, and we can make all the hands that we'll ever need to make forever. First things first, let's load up and find a pencil. See if we can get this to show up, maybe. Okay, possibly here. So what I do for hands is I just take this square here, this rectangle shape. You draw 4 circles here because you got 4 fingers, right? And they fit into the palm of the hand. Then from here, toilet paper roll, toilet paper roll, toilet paper roll, toilet paper roll. I know the middle finger's longer, so I'm just gonna go one more toilet paper roll here. A little shorter, shorter, significantly shorter, Got a little more mass right here. And there's like 2 more toilet paper rolls connected to that. So that's my general idea for a hand. I go in and add a little extra meat to it. Like that's our wire frame, right? And then from here, you know, we'll always put that extra wrist because the wrist is fun. So that's how I do hands, but it works in any way because same way here. And I'll ink this in a minute for you guys too, for fun. But let's say I want this hand coming out at me. Same hand, same positioning, right? 4 just like before. You know, there's gonna be that ball for the knuckle. Let's just do them all straight out, coming out this same angle here, right? They're all gonna be coming out this angle, so watch. 1, 1, 1. And then we wanna keep going out right at us. 1, 1, 1, 1. Now that looks really bad, you think, but wait for it. Remember that ball's down here. This might be out this way. Maybe there's a hand out this way and it's coming this way, and this is going back this way, right? So I'll show you in a second. When we're inking it, this is why we pencil, usually I pencil in blue, is because now I have this framework and I'll be able to do this and put this, because I'll know that, you know, this is the top. This is, you know, there. So this works for all kinds of shapes. So like, let's say if there's a gun pointed at you, it is actually just this, right? But I pay attention that if I'm holding the gun, or let's say someone's just using like pretending like this, these fingers, I pay attention to this and how these are coming off sideways. So I instantly know that this is going over. This is a toilet paper roll going just over. And this one's 1, and then 2 coming out at you, right? And you'll pump this up by adding a little line weight to it or whatever. And then this is curled back, and then back, and then back. And then this thumb is usually, I guess, up, so we'll go up with the thumb back here. And then I need to change the angle of that to go with that arm angle, make it a little stronger. Do some extreme foreshortening on that one. So that's it, just tubes, 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 tubes. Obviously hands will be a little more difficult, but that's just a toilet paper tube coming back, coming back, coming back, coming over, coming out, coming out. That's the hand back there. Get that a little meat. You'd give him a jacket or whatever, make him look cool. Let's just see if we can make this guy look cool or not. Maybe he's got his actual hand on his pistol. All right, so basic thing again, all hands are just this shape here. I don't know what you'd call that. A little more than a deck of cards or something. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can just go here, here, here. You can say that, oh, I want these fingers coming up and over, which would be like, let's say I want these 2 out and these 2 just directly over. You got your own hand to model, you can just bring that over. Of course, you want your hand doing something. It'll be fun for you guys to play with them like this and just move it around like a mannequin, but really, it's even more fun to get in there and play around like what can you actually do, like flick somebody off. So if you're flicking somebody off, apologize guys, but this is for art. Then we know those come across sooner. That one's up. This comes across sooner. This comes across sooner. And that's pretty much how everyone I know does hands. You can kind of like gesture them on, but you really need to break them down to get there. And then what I do in a minute is I come in with, ooh, cool, I have one of these. I'll do it thick on the outside and thin on the inside. So then I'll come in whenever I'm inking, you know, the extra digit, maybe I'll just do a little bump there or something, right? These won't be that great, but I don't need y'all's to be great. I need y'all to practice with those shapes and don't be intimidated. None of these are finished drawings that we're doing. We're just practicing and trying to do our best at moving shapes around. That's our goal. A lot of people you'll see will do the 3 cylinders. I just think it's pointless because usually this thing that top finger can only go in. Like, so for that second half, this thing can only really bend back down, and it's kind of already going with the motion always. It can just close a little more. So unless, or it can flick out a little more, like here on this guy here. I'll just do someone flicking somebody off here. But over and out, this will be really quick, but you'll see what I'm talking about. And then obviously his fingers should have came in here, but it was just for the sake of doing it terribly to show y'all. Or like this guy here. Same thing, remember that hard shape where he's flying at us? Now you just make sure you pick the right lines so you don't overlap the wrong things, you know? Because a lot of this is just structure that was built through. And since we built it through, we can always get it right. Because we decide if we want to redo it just like anybody else does. And maybe there's a little bump there for the knuckles. And then I'll generally come back in and do like somewhere where that was a cylinder. You know, I know that. I'll usually come in here and figure this out too. Since these are just our roughs right now, this will only form the shapes even better for when we do ink it next. Go in here and start like pretending like I know how the veins and stuff sit on the hand, but I don't. But put hair on it, figure it out. So yeah, that's just kind of how people move stuff around. You can go in there and use a thinner pen and ink the rest of the lines in there if you want. So that's how I move it. But we'll go back to this cartoony guy over here, just for fun to prove the thing. Same thing, all shapes. A little poncho or something over here. Even when I'm doing this, just playing around, like figuring out what this guy's doing or how his gun holds on his, whatever his gesture is or whatever. Still just the shapes, you know, I'm dictated by the shapes. These are just the shapes I laid down really quickly a while ago. Maybe he'll have his pistol here. I want to set for something or whatever. Like a Calvin Klein model or something, but anyway, besides the point. So we'll get back to this hand. Remember, that was we had the general shapes down, so let's see if we can just carve away and see if we can get it closer. I'm not one for trying to do things perfect. If you guys sure can tell that by now. Just get the shapes down, get the mass down, and then we'll figure out the rest as we go. So all any of this ever is really simple. It's just those simple shapes. In conclusion, if you can do this and then take the same shape here and bend it right at you. Then in a minute when you come ink it, you only ink those parts that are actually under the thing. Then you can bend fingers. You can just, as long as you understand this shape, then you can grab this toilet paper roll and point it any way you'd like, you know? Same thing with this. You can just handle these two, and then all you got to do is take your time after that, you know? That's literally all you have to do. And act out your hands whenever you're doing whatever pose you're doing, you know? And if you can do that, I mean, I'll just do this straight again, I guess, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2. Let's put the pinky coming back at us, just straight out coming at us. I don't even know if the pinky can do that, but we'll try. 1, 2. Let's, how about we want the thumb to come out of us instead? I don't know if the thumb can come out at that angle, but probably it could. I'm not a perfect guy either, so I got to come in there and figure that out as well. Or maybe it's Spider-Man's hand, and he's going to go here, and cut back in. And we'll lose all of that, and I'll keep that back up, right? So there's all these different things we can do because we can control the shape. So in conclusion, that's it. There's not really much to it, guys. It's my very quick hand lesson I give. Aim that right there. I figure I kind of felt like I brushed through those too quick. I'll do a nicer hand just for fun. I might speed this one up to music. So again, I'll use the blue pencil, and that's just laying down the structure. Let's say I want a peace sign for fun. You have your reference right here, but let's see what we can do with our philosophy we had earlier. Let's say I want the hand tilted out at us. Hopefully you guys can catch some of this. Let me try to get that light back around. That probably will light it up a little better, but so peace sign. Let's just see if we can do it just how I would pencil it, like if it was a commission or something. First off, I'd be like putting my peace sign close to my face, because that's like what hippies do, right? So I'd kind of like frame the head out. Give him some big glasses, maybe look like a Mitch Hedberg guy or something. Big old glasses. Parted hair. We won't do much more than that. We're just going to do the peace sign anyway. So peace sign, you put it up by your face. It's close by your face. It's the same thing, the 4 circles. These 2 fingers seem to go down with the thumb over it. These go up. I'm aware of that. So 1, 2, 1. They're kind of separated too for a peace sign, right? So I'll try to force the gap as well. As always, I'm always thinking about angles when I'm doing this kind of stuff. So then I know these are coming straight out. Toilet paper roll here, down here. And then remember, I never really bend the second, but like these are times you do bend the second, that little notch there. So I'm really focusing on that gap there, because that's what I feel that pull whenever I'm doing that motion. And then again, this guy's coming over the top, so it looks like to me he's holding this finger down when he's doing the peace sign, so I'm paying attention to that where it touches, because that absolutely matters. This now, the fingers are out, they're not curved in like I said. So let's actually put them out like my fingers are doing. Let's try to correct them. And that's gonna put that over here. We know there's a ball down there somewhere. We're just gonna have that curve right back to it. So this was like a really quick, like someone's coming up to me at a show and I'm just being nice. I had that divide, but I will add the other ball in there. Really try to go in between, and then I don't know what Hedberg's face looks like, but obviously it would be weird if I did. He's just like, peace, bro. Maybe he's doing it with this too. Maybe he's pointing at us or something here, but this is all I do, is I just move these shapes around. Or maybe he's saying, shh, be quiet. I got this up by his face. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4. Over. When I go shh, shh, I see this thumb comes up with it. So he's just like, shh, keep it down, bro. Pipe it down, bro. That's the halfway, that's the click. This is here. So then that's pretty much it, man. I do these roughs like this all the time. I'll ink it real quick for fun. If I can find the marker. We'll just do the outside contours for fun real quick, but this is where I'm like kind of aware that even when this starts attaching here, even, oh look, you can't even see the fucking drawing. Even when this starts attaching here, I'm aware that this line here goes in front of that line. I'm aware that this is going in front. So this is all the stuff where it gets a little difficult because we did all this work, but we're only picking one line, right? And it's like, fuck, I did all that work, but you want to kind of keep that work and you want to show it, but then if you do that, you're going to make the wrong choices. So the trick here is to be concise with your mark making and figuring it all out early. We had those flying out. This one's obviously going to be in front of this one. This one will be in front of this one. You know, whatever we're doing here, I don't know, I made all this up. This is just fake. This is not the man back here. Whenever you do like this, I feel like your finger starts moving back, so that's something I'm aware of when I'm inking it too. I'll put a little extra slope in it, you know? I don't even know if my thumb would fit in there if my chin's in the way, but who knows? Same thing here, let's just have all the fingers hang down here if we want. Maybe they come out, maybe this one comes out. Again, that's just that middle knuckle. I always pretend it's only two, just makes it a lot easier. Then, you know, that muscle, that little bit of meat on that hand have been down here, and then whatever. So yeah, that's pretty much it. It's a pretty simple, straightforward thing. And then you can see how quickly I can kind of manipulate those simple shapes into a quick hand. So yeah, there's another example of how I start laying it out. And plus, these hands are so great. Hands are fun for me because they start really informing the character of the piece. That they're such a great storytelling tool. And you'll find it more and more, especially if you're like a loud Italian guy or something and you're always talking with your hands. You're gonna naturally understand all of that in a really cool way. So when you start picking angles like this, these start ringing false, right? Because I didn't actually work out how far the elbow goes and where it would be. And so that angle's got to get to the right distance for this to be the right. And so this thing too, so I know that the shoulder would be up because this is going to have to go out this way to get over there. So like that kind of, those kind of angles, you don't just haphazardly pick. You actually got to do the right angle. Even if you stop it right there, you all of a sudden put the hand out this way. You know, if you did that, then it's like, fuck, well, how did you get over here? That means this guy's doing like this. Well, that's a whole different pose. Now it's a whole effeminate, different thing than this, like, more chill, like, hey, shh, just peace, bro. Like, he's putting his hand up and, like, out at you. If he's coming in with his elbow here, he's like, you know, like side-eyeing you, sassing you, like, peace, homie. This is a whole different thing, that other thing. Just like by picking that angle. And your mind knows this. So if you stopped your commission there and you did that or that, that's two different poses. And great cartoonists are aware of that at all times. So yeah, there you go. Hands, 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 easy, simple. Obviously we use light boxes, we trace, and we can go back and get our old drawings here and tighten them up because this is just a rough. So yep, there's your hands. That's how you do them. Simple, simple. Peace.